So, a while back I did a video on the strongest battle in the multiverse, and to my surprise, there was way too many people who weren't willing to actually grapple with the subject material there. So I decided to actually follow up with a video specifically on the topic, but on one of the figures involved. So who exactly was involved for the ultimate battle of the multiverse? At first glance, whenever it comes to DC, you just assume that to be Superman or Batman, and the truth is kind of like half true there. But today we're not focusing on either one of them, we're actually focusing on Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman has quite a few different forms for herself, but the most powerful one at her disposal. What exactly makes this form for her arguably the most powerful version of any Justice Leaguer who's ever existed? Not to mention most characters from DC in general. Let's discuss the absurd powers of Golden Wonder Woman today. So what's up guys, it's me Lumos Theromax, and today we're discussing the obviously insane powers of Golden Wonder Woman from the events of death metal. Now, of course, you can get videos like this made just for you and the rest of the Theromax Corps. If you're a homie like my fan, Rockin' Alice over here, definite channel homie, always supported the content, and the guy's a banger. So be like him, consider liking and subscribing, or even becoming a Theromax Corps member like he is. And with no further ado, let's get straight into this video, guys. Let's find out just how jacked Golden Wonder Woman is. So, here is Wonder Woman during the events of death metal. Now, for those who don't know, it's important to note that she still has all of her base feats up into this moment. So she's considered like the greatest melee fighter on the planet. I mean, a variety of times styled on Superman, of course they go back and forth. She's consistently kept up with wildly powerful gods from the god sphere like Zeus, Hera, and a variety of others. She's fought new gods. She's one of the top tier. She's in the Trinity for a reason, okay? Wonder Woman is one of the most powerful characters from DC for a reason, alright? And she has the repertoire to be that way. All of those things feed into her character already. This Wonder Woman is post-rebirth. She has all of her memories from everything during the post-crisis timeline, not just the New 52 stuff anymore. So like, Wonder Woman's definitely on the jack side of things, even before we start going into this specific amps or anything along those lines. At one point in time, she even cut Apex Lex in almost two. Her sword is wildly dangerous. She's just incredibly capable. Even just where we're starting off, because keep in mind, we're jumping in the middle of just an absolute like nightmare scenario. Even jumping off right where we were at, even at the beginning of death metal, she can feel the darkest night and like Perpetua fighting one another and feeling them just ending existence with their battle. Now, this is after she managed to kill the original body of the Bat Who Laughs with an 8th metal chainsaw of truth, okay? Don't question what's going on there, but that is something she wields later on, so consider that. That being said, not only do we have everything leading up into this moment, but she's got some pretty abstract perceptions even before the unique hacks that come. It was there the Justice League devised a plan, mainly through Wonder Woman, to overcome the Bat Who Laughs or Bat Manhattan by connecting everyone that exists via the Forge of Worlds, where all matter comes from. Despite everything not working out, even losing her army of Lobos in the Dark Multiverse, she still puts together a plan on the fly that can work similarly to what Lex Luthor had originally worked with them to create this situation, right? So she needed something that was a massive truth amp. And to reveal the truth and all the history and life as part of one story, as they all matter, this was Wonder Woman's goal. The secret truth that connects absolutely everyone because it's love that binds everyone together. Utilizing her lasso of truth, she tries to replicate Lex Luthor's plan of connecting everyone in the multiverse that remains, and she succeeds in doing so, okay? So she combines all histories and stories throughout the entire multiverse into one. Good, bad, all of it. It didn't matter. She literally confirms it works. And if you think she's just high on her supply, Darkseid can't deny it either. And this is Darkseid if he had one final crisis. So like, this dude should be pretty intelligent. And this is like the current version of Darkseid at the moment. So like, there's no denying exactly what happened here. But this event transforms everyone alive into the multiverse into something better than they were before. Something where everything in their histories had been canonized. Superman even says, "I remember it all," confirming this idea. So even with just this act, she affected everything in the multiverse that remains. Immediately utilizing the newfound Truth World Forge amp, she appears on the final Earth immediately as Golden Wonder Woman. This implies she either has movement that she ran straight from the Dark Multiverse to where Earth Prime is, or she could just teleport there. Either way you kind of look at it, but no matter how you look at it, that's an insane travel feat. Traveling between like the Dark Multiverse and the Positive Multiverse is definitely a difficult thing to do. Anybody telling you otherwise is just lying to themselves, because there's an entire barrier there and beings that operate there called the Fusionauts to keep people from moving in between. It is there she stands at odds with the Darkest Knight, or as I like to call him, Batman Hatton. You know, the Bat Who Laughs. Now, a fight breaks out between these two absolute titans, and she manages to react to the Bat Who Laughs and even lassos his hand at one point in time. And it's important to note, as you look through the variety of things I'm sure that are wandering around behind me, that throughout, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate pages of this story while a fight's going on. Oh wait, no, it's even more than that. 7, 8, 9. It took 9 separate pages while they're actively fighting with one another for the Bat Who Laughs to be capable of breaking free of that, of that lasso, because this lasso is far stronger than it's ever been before with these truth amps, because it is a truth amp unto itself. So it's kind of like double amped, if that makes sense. But now, don't get me wrong, Golden Wonder Woman is not as powerful as Batman Hatton at this moment in time. In fact, he's actually kind of knocking her around while she's holding on to him with the lasso. The important thing to note, like I said, is that he just can't break the lasso. Otherwise, he'd just casually tear it and keep rolling. But as the battle rages on, it appears that Wonder Woman begins tanking energy blasts from Batman Hatton's fingers as he launches them directly towards her for a variety of panels. And the crazy part is not only does it hit her, but she begins charging through it. As a matter of fact, she blitzes through that attack and swipes Batman Hatton in the face, like immediately, because they keep rolling at one another. Now, something to note here is that clearly towards the beginning of this fight, she was on like the losing end. And now suddenly she seems to be, definitely seems to be on more of the offensive, or at least that's the general guise we're being given here. Now, I'll admit, there's a reading order for death metal, but things kind of get a little weird and a little convoluted. Everything we've covered, well, not everything, but the majority of this last fight between Batman Hatton and Golden Wonder Woman was essentially their fight during War of the Multiverses, a tie into death metal. We then jump from there to death metal issue number 7, where we kind of step back for a second somehow, and whenever we do, essentially Golden Wonder Woman is just seeing everything with her eyes during this battle, because her perceptions are far more than even being a god, and she's even been a god before. So if she looks at these perceptions and says these are like mind-blowing, well, since she's literally been a god from the god sphere, then she would see that as vastly superior. So wow, this is way more than that. With this, she could see all of existence. It doesn't matter, the past, the present, the future, it doesn't. Like, everything is something she can view at this point in time. But she can't just cosmically jizz her pants forever as the battle between Batman Hatton continues with her. She continues this battle by lassoing up his arm again. And keep in mind, just like last time, it doesn't appear that he can destroy the lasso. And she tanks these chains that he summons, which manage to cause her immense pain as well. And Diana just keeps forcing the fight back, shoving him into, shoving an entire universe into his mouth during the battle. But even throwing a universe at a figure like this is not going to stop them. And although the Bat Who Laughs could effortlessly depower the nearby Teen Titans, it appears that the Bat Who Laughs could not depower Wonder Woman, which is kind of crazy to think about. She also undoes the hacks that Batman Hatton put on the Titans before bracing a tackle from the Bat Who Laughs. So, consider the fact that she can undo hacks that Batman Hatton can cause. Another example of her growing more powerful and being capable of resisting effects, not only on herself, but other people as well. The tackle that he hits her with is so powerful, he literally tackles her not just through time, but through history itself, to 160 million years ago. She then gets tackled again by the Bat Who Laughs, and they go even further back in time, which is low-key pretty wild. Now, Wonder Woman is a being that is powered by pure anti-crisis, okay? One of the foundational energies of existence. And her op is powered by crisis energies, the energy of self. So her truth amp spreading across all the people was unironically fighting against the concept of the individual self of Batman Hatton here. And that force links her with all of history, all lives, all story as one. And she draws strength from pretty much everyone fighting on behalf of Anticrisis, just like her op gains powers from his own multiverse that he had created, right? Their bravery makes her stronger. They make her curl her fists with hope. And even as she says, it's working. I need you all to keep fighting, because she's being amped by pretty much everything in the multiverse that remains. And she says this utilizing her cosmic vision, because she, even though she's at the dawn of existence now after that last attack from the Bat Who Laughs, she's using her vision to view the current moment of the multiverse as it just explodes and falls apart. This is also more proof that the harder they fought, the stronger she's getting and feeling, because she directly references it. It was then she realized, as I previously mentioned, she's at the beginning of it all. She's at the beginning of the very moment. No, even before the very moment that the multiverse was created by Perpetua's hand. Now, the Bat Who Laughs claims he's stronger than her and the hands, but maybe he was thinking of prior versions of Golden Wonder Woman, or maybe versions that wasn't as amped. But even knowing this situation, the Bat Who Laughs realizes he's kind of fucked at this moment in time. So he begins to negotiate. And he tells her, look to the future. No matter what happens based on your actions, the future ends. Everything in existence ends. The hands are going to wipe existence entirely clean. And there's nothing you can do about it. The Bat Who Laughs continues to tell her that if she fights him pointlessly, that the hands will show up and be stronger than both of them and will erase the multiverse that exists. He, however, believes he can kill the hands if she doesn't. He interrupts her during this offer by attempting to blindside her, but this now amped Diana immediately dodges it, being stronger than before. And keep in mind, he cuts himself off here while attempting to negotiate. So he's clearly trying to off-guard her, implying that he is lying and just wants to kill her to take her power more so than anything. He's just saying anything he can to take a W here, but she kicks Perpetua's hand into his face, throwing him backwards. And keep in mind, Perpetua, especially at the prime of her power, still is a pretty dangerous foe. Batman hadn't managed to struggle against her until he took away the things that were powering her. So this attack still would be really strong, because this hand would be utilizing the full totality that exists that created the multiverse. As she kicks him in the face with the cosmic hand of creation, suddenly she feels it. This thing, this surge of power. Her allies back on Earth continue to keep fighting more, which empowers her only further. This is the key to it all, Diana sees, fighting even on when there's no chance of winning, no chance of reward, and no chance of recognition. Once more, proving that she gets stronger the more the powers of Anticrisis are foundationally kept inside the multiverse. She kept fighting on for not this moment, not even the next, but something bigger than yourself. A dream of who we, or like everyone in the multiverse, is. A dream of who they can be. A dream that connects them all across all of time and space and beyond. And with every star-shaking impact that these goons slap at each other with, she feels the Bat Who Laughs power fading. She feels him growing tired and afraid. Afraid of her, Golden Wonder Woman. It makes her laugh. The battle continues. As Golden Wonder Woman punches him so hard, he flies forward in this time, past everything in existence that possibly could be, to the end of everything that is, to the Death Sun itself, into which all universes, all stories were long ago absorbed. All matter, all here in one place. The Death Sun. Wonder Woman yells at Batman Hatton, "This is where you die, monster." And she clearly throws him directly into the Death Sun. However, Diana feels once again with her cosmic awareness that the hands are nearby watching. She can instantly tell that they can absolutely undo everything in existence if they wanted to. He claims that she doesn't have the energy to recreate worlds like he does, since he's the one empowered by dark matter, and she's only empowered by Anticrisis energies. The Bat Who Laughs claims once more that with her help, he could kill the hands that have arrived to the multiverse if she doesn't fight him. Keep in mind, the Bat Who Laughs at this point in time is desperate. He's pleading. It doesn't have to end this way. But her allies continue to fight on, even past death once Batman resurrects them all as Black Lanterns. Then Superman and his enemies throw hands on behalf of Anti-Crisis, further amping Diana. After all, Diana sees it all, as stated here. Everything and everyone will be no more if she doesn't side with the one who laughs. He's begging her to save them now. As the flames consume him, keep in mind the definition of consume, he's begging her to save her friends. Save everyone. Save every story, past, present, future, and beyond. Picture it, he yells. Picture the world you could have. Picture the multiverse we could create. And so Golden Wonder Woman, using her extreme powers of cosmic awareness and foresight, even thinks about a world where she could win through the Bat Who Laughs. She imagines an Earth where she and everyone she ever cared about was stronger together, safe and happy, shielded from the truth of reality, that they were going to be destroyed. A world where they were young again, where they were new. She continues roasting the Bat Who Laughs in the Death Sun, however, knowing that she had to fight for something bigger, because she could see them all. Clark, Bruce, her sisters, Steve, Donna, Alec, so on, everyone in the multiverse. And keep in mind, she's in a realm beyond absolutely everything in existence. While she's not even looking there, she's still fighting the Bat Who Laughs. It's warm and bright, this place. There's music and dancing. Even Bruce, if it is badly. She can see it all right in front of her. She closes her eyes to even see it better. However, she is clearly coping and recognizes this future is honestly impossible. She destroys the Bat Who Laughed by smashing his head against the narrative star known as the Death Sun. However, she did not die, nor did she take damage. She resisted the Death Sun's influence as close as she was, even though the Bat Who Laughs could not. But therein was the problem, in all honesty. Even though she defeated the Bat Who Laughs, the hand still destroyed everything in existence. The multiverse was gone. But Wonder Woman still was. So what exactly is outside of the multiverse? Outside of everything that could be destroyed? Well, if you're an OG DC fan, you already know the answer. The Overvoid. That's right, Wonder Woman was sitting inside the Overvoid, the nothingness that was outside of our multiverse. It is there she gained a new level of self-awareness. And in the nothingness that is, something happens. Some being reaches out to Golden Wonder Woman in the nothingness. At first, it was hard to even understand them, or even perceive them, but this being is beyond, well beyond Diana, having to take a form so she can even comprehend it. She could clearly see the hands before, and comprehend them looking back. The hands here even prove that the things haven't been brought back yet, so even more evidence that this takes place directly inside the Overvoid. It appears that Golden Wonder Woman's truth hacks, or maybe it was just sheer character of will, was so strong that she mind hacks the hands and everyone else up the food chain from them to reconsider their positions and their methods whenever it comes to multiverses in general. This figure confirms that the multiverse will be restored in a new comp version where all stories will be remembered and set once and for all, but with no source wall. No other reality has been reconstructed in this way. More evidence that the Overvoid is around them and that the multiverse is currently destroyed. However, this does come at a cost that Wonder Woman gladly accepts. This hand plus figure then tells Wonder Woman that she's not actually dead, and that she's more alive than ever, but she must ascend to protect this new multiverse that exists. The two figures then walk into the white void beyond for her ascension. And if you consider something really interesting, Where exactly would be like the leaders of the hands and stuff? Well, the 2018 run actually gives us our answers on that, as a matter of fact. They're on the far side of the void being the overvoid, of course. So if they have to go to the far side of the void and Wonder Woman is walking there with her, she can traverse the overvoid casually and has one of the greatest travel feats inside of pretty much all of DC whenever it comes to just being capable of moving to the other side of the void. Low-key wild business, boys. Not too many people are capable of traveling throughout the void in general, but to travel across the entire overvoid, ooh, or at least let's just assume, because she said far side of the void, we're at the center of like a spherical object. Even if they're at the middle of a radius that's been stated as infinite, that's still an infinite distance inside a realm beyond comprehension that doesn't even have things like distance, time, or anything along, no concepts whatsoever. So absolutely crazy for this. And keep in mind, they're going to ascend her, and that's important. Well, why is being an ascended being or an ascended human very important? Well, let's take a look at Jon Stewart, the only other ascended human we're aware of. I'm kind of curious whenever it comes to the idea of what an ascended being, so let's dig into him. So, whenever this action happened to Jon Stewart, there was a lot of stuff talking about like Crux Worlds. If you want more of an idea on that, feel free to check out my Jon Stewart video. Link should be in like the, no, I think it's that corner as a matter of fact. But yeah, absolutely wild stuff. But let's do some brief things. They can absorb all fundamental cosmic forces that exist, so like all the foundational energies, and feed on all those forces as well. Like this stuff is just outside of like one specific power too. Like John wasn't just drawing on the emotional spectrum for all those people who were like, well, it's pure connective energy, so only the emotional spectrum would count, right? Nah, it's clearly stated as otherwise here. And at one point in time, this dude even ate something called a God Wave. And what's the God Wave? Well, the God Wave was like this massive energy attack that's shown up a variety of times throughout all of DC's history. And it's something that's always stated to be capable of threatening creation. And creation, even to those gods at throughout any point in history, would at least be up to the source wall. So that's kind of jacked scaling as well. Just being an ascended being is absolutely wild, in my opinion. But let's get back to what else happens throughout her story. While she's gone from the multiverse, or I guess the destroyed multiverse, the multiverse is actually remade, and everyone inside just thought Diana died during that battle. They've seen absolutely everything inside the multiverse and have begun to map it out. It's larger than it's ever been, contains even more multiverses than it ever has, and it's just genuinely jacked as a result of being recreated due to Diana's sacrifice. And that sacrifice was reflected within like even the quintessence talking to her, because whenever she comes back, the first thing that happens is she rolls up onto them and they're like, yo, your love and mercy is literally what saved the entire multiverse. You did things that we couldn't ever do. And the quintessence basically just shit themselves at the sight of this new ascended Wonder Woman, who should be even beyond the Golden Wonder Woman we had seen before. Even compared to the Golden Wonder Woman form, she has a far grander perspective of existence than she ever has before. So it's also said that she was chosen to ascend, but saw the future or possible futures that may or may not come to pass depending on humanity. The source, or the hands of the source, basically judged her the pinnacle of humanity of potential and elevated her to the highest plane of existence. One that we haven't really been referenced yet. Or maybe they were talking about like ascending them to wherever the judges are. There's maybe some other plane that exists out there. Basically, she's one of the strongest figures in the multiverse that has ever been, and the quintessence are pretty much the guys who've consistently tried to defend existence the best they can. So they're like, yo, you're a homie, we're homies, like, yo, team up, let's go. But Diana's like, lol, no thanks, and then goes on a spiritual journey across the multiverse with the Spectre, where nobody can even recognize their existence. Nobody even sees them or what's going on, which is pretty impressive. I mean, just take a look at some of these scans here and some of the figures they come across. Whether it's like Themyscira, whether it's like, the JSA, whether it's Superboy, who, keep in mind, should have like 800 billion different visions that he can see through. He can't see either one of them here. And while they're watching him, he flies into this mega space-time aberration beyond like this organism that is a space-time. Totally wild, but they absolutely see them through the entire thing. And yo, big shout outs to the Spectre hating on Superboy. Yo, he hates Superboy. This is like hilarious to me. But they continue onward in their search, and they even roll up on the Flashes. And the Flashes have great awareness whenever it comes to these things and perceptions. And Flash and Wally just cannot perceive them, which is insane. And you think, like, okay, well, maybe they're just running around Earth Zero. No, they walk across all stories inside DC. At the lowest possible interpretation, they're literally just casually wandering the bleed at this point in time. But unfortunately, their wonderful, life-changing journey through the multiverse has to come to an end. So they basically are like, now that you've seen all sorts of crazy shit and what's going on in the future, how about you join us? And she's like, yeah, no, I'm still not joining. That's some bullshit. And gives up her godhood entirely and becomes mortal again like an idiot. Which, keep in mind, Dark Crisis still happens. So, very unfortunate. And this all ends during the events of Infinite Frontier as well. So, that's kind of where we're at with all that action. Now, I referenced guidebook statements earlier, and let's just talk about a few of those, because Golden Wonder Woman has some of the most jacked ones ever, okay? Now, let's talk the first guidebook statement right here from this bad boy, and I'll quote, "However, even he, the Darkest Knight, succumbs to the greater anti-crisis energies and adamantine resolve of the multiverse's greatest champion and defender, Wonder Woman." This is like the best statement any character could ever have. The greatest defender of the multiverse, effectively saying she's been the most powerful there has ever been. Like, hard to argue against that one, isn't it? But hey, maybe you don't take my word for it. Let's follow up again. Yo, boys, this is it. This one is unbelievable, okay? This is like unbelievable of a statement. Yo, and for the second time, we have a statement. But this one's even better, yo. We have Golden Wonder Woman stated as the multiverse's greatest champion and defender, this time clad in the mystic armor of death metal. The Dark Knight battled Golden Wonder Woman across all of space and time, but fell to the pure might of justice wielded by Wonder Woman, fulfilling a multi-billion-year expectation set by the Presence. So all of that was like, yo, the Presence said, I want to create ascended beings. She's the only one who's done it. Up until this point in time. Damn, yo, she's fulfilling expectations of the Presence. Look at this, that's jacked. You can't get better statements than this, it's absurd. But I know exactly what all you Bat Who Laughs fans are gonna say out there. But Lumos, they say, she didn't kill the Bat. She didn't kill the Bat Who Laughs. She didn't kill Bat Manhattan. He died on purpose because reasons. Well, if that's your take, please go and see a doctor, okay? Whether it's mental or physical, something is wrong, okay? Something is very wrong. Maybe consider taking a trip up to Canada. I hear they have free healthcare, so maybe even consider just moving there, because I think it's gonna take more than one dose of whatever they can give you. If you want my full take on that entire interaction, as you've seen it sprinkled throughout this entire specific video, maybe consider watching that video I posted earlier. Maybe it'll be up in the top right corner, not sure, about who killed the Bat Manhattan specifically, or the Darkest Knight. So definitely check that out if you want my full analysis of the battle. But with everything said up into this moment, Wonder Woman should ironically be the strongest person walking the face of our multiverse up into the point of death metal, or at least one of the absolute strongest figures who've ever walked across the face of the multiverse. Obviously, there being a few exceptions. I mean, we got Presence and a few other archangels running around, so maybe consider that. Up to death metal, she is definitely it. Stronger than Perpetua in her prime, as Perpetua could not defeat the Bat Who Laughs, and the Bat Who Laughs either tied her, took her powers, and became more powerful and still lost to Golden Wonder Woman. No matter how you look at it, Golden Wonder Woman's at the top of that pantheon specifically, and I believe that power actually ends at the hands. After all, she couldn't really deal with the hands at the end of that specific run. They were beyond her comprehension. But this is where things tend to get weird once again, reaching into other materials. According to the writer of that specific run, Scott Snyder, the beings who showed up weren't just some hands. They weren't the lower echelon of the beings that all served the Presence. They were actually beings far higher up the ladder. This explains why Wonder Woman could perceive the hands whenever they arrived, but had no idea how to even interact with the being that shows up with her at the very end of that specific comic. Maybe the Bat Who Laughs was honest when he said he could kill the hands, but there's no clear way that he could even interact with the final figure who arrives, the same one that dealt with Wonder Woman. And I mean, he lost to Wonder Woman. If she couldn't perceive him, then there's no fucking chance that he could even understand the opponent he was attempting to fight there. So just more evidence we're coping whenever it comes to Batman Manhattan. But this could either mean that Wonder Woman is vastly superior to the hands themselves, meaning she's one of the most powerful characters in all of DC we've ever seen. Especially with the statements from Scott Snyder, which reference the fact that she could definitely be way stronger than any of the hands who had originally arrived. But she's incredibly powerful, one of the strongest, even if not one of the absolute greatest of all time. From our multiverse, she is indeed one of the GOATs. You're putting her up there with the big dogs, boys. It's fact. So I hope you guys enjoyed this specific video here. This video is brought to you by homie Rockin' Alice, and yo, become a member like him, man. Like and subscribe. We have all sorts of cool stuff we do. Come hang out on the Discord, man. It's just a banger ass time because I'm no different than I am in my videos than I am in call with you. So show up, let's chat, let's talk about stuff, and continue enjoying comic books and all sorts of media as my channel diversifies and gets crazier. But consider even sponsoring videos like this so I can make them faster, because I am only making videos based on you guys supporting me. So with no further ado, I hope you enjoyed Golden Wonder Woman and her absurd power. And we'll catch you next time, Lanterns. Later.
You'll join my list of dead after I tear you in half. And I laughed at the thought of them controlling me. I'm the ultimate dragon that spawned everything. I resist and